Wonderful, wonderful music educator, and she's right now running a wonderful group called the Mount Carmel String Orchestra, and it's a group of children in West Philadelphia. She told me the reason why I should play the cello is because I'd make a lot of money.
How old were you?
I was 12. She said, there are not that many cellists, and this is a good instrument to play because you'll make a lot of money if you do this.
Did that have any influence on you at the time?
I don't know. I just thought it was so interesting. I was like, oh, well, great. I guess I could just be a musician. I don't know.
Oh, how funny, because usually musicians aren't told that that's what they're going to get out of it.
No, I mean, for her, it was very, I mean, she was serious, and quite frankly, I don't think she was really joking too much. But
you don't think it was a line that she uses to try and get young musicians to be interested?
No, I think it was just something that she said that day. Maybe she was happy that she finally got a cello student because she teaches so many violinists, pianists. Having a cello student is something that I think she appreciated. Another teacher that I was with for a very long time who really trained me a lot was Vivian Barton, who is this amazing cellist here in Philadelphia. She plays for Philomel, for the American Society of Ancient Instruments, I believe that's the name of that group. And she's a lot of these Baroque, Brandywine Baroque. I know she's played with them as well. So she's a very prolific performer, a Curtis graduate. And she was like a cello mommy for me. She's like, she was really she taught me so much that I know, and she was very kind.
That's nice. Well, what about your instrument, your cello? Because I know many musicians are very attached to their instruments. Can you talk about your cello? I mean, what kind is it? Does it have any special stories attached to it, and so forth?
Oh, yes, it does.
What are they?
Well, the cello is by Hiroshi Kono from Tokyo. And
is that a well-known maker of cello?
Yes, he's a very well-known maker. He actually, I don't think he works with them anymore, but he used to distribute through Weaver, which I believe is based in Washington, D.C., and I don't know if he deals with them anymore, but I know several other musicians who actually have purchased his instruments and we all admire it very much. And recently I found out are a little harder to come by now.
No.
My cello, I think she's only about 6 years old now.
You refer to her as she?
Yes, it's a girl.
Is that often done, or is it just your particular
It's just for me particular thing. For me, it's a girl, just because when I saw the instrument, I thought it was a little more feminine than masculine. So I just.
She doesn't have a name, though.
Yes, she does.
Oh, she does. Okay, what's her name?
Rosabella.
What is the name?
Rosabella.
Rosabella?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. And, well, why that name?
Well, because she's this beautiful red coat that she has, and I just thought it was really, for me, she's reminded me of a rose, very beautiful, very powerful. She's a very loud cello.
Did you choose her, I mean, did you listen to a lot of cellos and then choose this cello for the sound?
That's what I did.
Yeah. How long ago, how long have you had her?
I've had her since I graduated from high school. I was in 12th grade, and my parents and I were discussing the need for another instrument if I was to continue playing, because I've had my teacher said I needed a new instrument. If I wanted to continue gigging, I needed a better instrument. There was my mother had recently taken a sabbatical from her job. What was a sabbatical? Actually, no, she had left. She decided to leave the firm that she was working for, the insurance firm, and then she received, penance pay. She received pay, and we had this old junky car that my father was investing in, this old van, and I won't say what model, but it actually caught on fire.
Okay.
And we were originally going to use the money that my mother had to buy a new van, but we received insurance money from this burned van. And we were looking for money to get a cello, and it just kind of landed on our laps.
Oh, so it's sort of magical.
It just kind of happened when I really needed it, and then it just kind of worked out. So
it's how many years now that you've had the cello?
I believe I've had it now, so that was 6 years, 7 years.
Okay.
So the cello is really 7 years old then.
And does a cello get better as you use it over time? I mean, the sound change? Can you continue to use it forever?
Well,
how does it work? I'm sorry.
The way that it works is that the instrument, as you play it and as it vibrates, it becomes what many luthiers, violin makers call seasoned. So that's how you get the instrument to produce a much more whole-bodied sound. The more you play it, the better it gets. I think that's why B.B. King usually puts his guitar, his new Lucille, out on the stage for a little while, because B.B. King has this habit where he gets a new guitar, and he brings it to the show, but he never doesn't play it until he does a tour. He lets it sit on the stage for a while, and then he'll play it. That's my hypothesis.
Okay. So but your cello, you were very attached to her.
Yes.
And so I guess to change or to have another instrument would probably be, there'd be an adjustment process involved.
Yeah, it's always an adjustment process. Because my prior cello, Pablo...
Why was he named Pablo?
Because I wanted to name him after the famous cellist Pablo Casals,
yes,
who resided in Puerto Rico for the remainder of his life and created the Conservatory of Music in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So he was very inspiring for me as a musician. And
I guess he was the greatest cellist in terms of fame. When one thinks of cello, one thinks of Pablo Casals.
He made it very popular. He popularized for the 20th century the Bach suites, and he really brought it to the forefront of the repertoire of music. And not only that, but he was also he was a wonderful composer and a conductor.
Okay, so your first cello was named after Pablo.
Pablo Casals.
But your second cello was more personalized, I guess.
It was more personalized, yes. I didn't want to call her Jackie.
For Jacqueline Dupre.
No.
You thought of that, though. You thought that would be a little too...
For an instant.
Too flip.
It's kind of awkward talking about this as if the instrument's an actual person. But you do become attached, and I feel that if you're going to become attached to an object like that, that's so much a part of your life, you should give it a name. It deserves a name.
Well, I often, when I see, especially with the cello, when you see someone play the cello, the sense, and the violin too, of course, the sense that the body and the instrument become one thing, integrated.
They do.
And that is a wonderful, when it's really working, I guess. You must feel it on your end. The audience feels it, who listens.
That's the part of, that's the artistic part about being a musician, is that the instrument is an extension of yourself and becomes a tool for that extension. And it's something that's so magical and wonderful that it's, for me, one of the best things on the earth.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to speak with us today.
Thank you.
And we're actually going to have a treat. You're going to play the cello for us. I'm going to say goodbye to you now.
Okay.
And to our audience, thank you for joining us today at the Drexel interview. And I'm going to turn things over to Daniel DeJesus, who is going to play a medley of Bliss and Change, two of his compositions.
Imaginary drums in the air, the light to my canvas to stare, and in this shadow box I'll place the creature I made. Come sit beside me in my grave. Oh, yeah. I know a better place we could go and watch reruns of your favorite show. And harmonies come with rhythms that beat rhythms so. and in these fingertips, you'll always find bliss. And these waves, they're in my eyes, and they bleed love, love, love. And these waves, they're in my mind, and they speak love, love, love. And then we are in bliss, we find ourselves in bliss. Down into the deep, yeah, lies my soul, searching for the light that always shines through. And you feel this trembling. I'm afraid and wishing to change. Down inside my heart, I had these feelings for you, but they're trapped inside this body, inside the light that always shines through. And you feel this trembling. I'm afraid and wishing that this truth will march forward, and my hate will leave my body. Water, I wade in the water, in the